We have witnessed plenty of bidding wars over the last few weeks at the various yearling sales that have been held in Europe, and while it is always an exciting time to be witness to these in the sales ring, it can be difficult to identify just who is bidding. One agent who has been in the fray is Oliver St. Lawrence, and he explains to TDN the nuances of bidding.
An awful lot of inspection. Luckily I have someone who marks up the catalogue for me with all the ratings and distances, so that's a starting point. And then, just a lot of the old legwork, wandering, going around and looking at the horses and trying to see that athletic one that might stand training. As a generalisation, I don't like to bid too early. I can't see any point in getting in there too early. But it depends whether I know the reserve or not. I don't often ask reserves, strangely. Yeah, but I'd probably get in there on the later part of a bid and work from there. I think if you're working to a strict budget, the vendors are sharp enough, very much sharp enough to work out what your budget is. If you keep stopping it around the 50 mark, they know you have a 50 grand order. Nothing much more than waving the catalogue. I mean, I think a lot of the time the auctioneers and the better spotters, they have an idea of where I think the auctioneers always say that one tends to stand in roughly the same spots or a number of spots, so they know you're looking, so to speak, threatening from that spot. And if you're actually paying attention, a lot of the time one's sitting there chatting away to someone rather than paying attention if you're not going to bid. The bigger lots, definitely a bit of nervousness, or the ones you really want, which may not necessarily be the bigger one, but the ones that you really fancy, a bit of nervousness. Are we going to get it? Have I valued it right? So there can be a bit of nervousness. There's probably more nervousness when the horse is making nothing and you're thinking it's going to make 200 and it's stuck there at 80, and you're thinking, what have I missed? What's gone wrong? What's the vet missed? I'd like to think not so much by the agent, but by the clients. And definitely I've had clients on the end of the telephone not wanting to be beaten and going far in excess of the valuation you put on the horse. Todd Watt, when Todd was on the rostrum at Tatzel's, and I used to buy a lot of horses for Hungary, and I had an order for Hungary to buy, I can't remember, 10 cheap staying filly, 2-year-old fillies, but with staying pedigrees. It's a horse and training sale, pulling them out the bottom of the ring and having a look at them and then going in and bidding in. And I thought, well, this filly's going to have to average something like massive, like 3,000. And I thought, well, she's going to make far too much, so I won't follow her in the ring. And I could hear Todd on the rostrum going, in here, 700, anyone give me 800? And I ran up from the bottom of the Tatzel's ring and ran into the ring, waving my catalogue furiously. And £1,000, and he kept on. Todd was my best man. He was obviously a good mate of mine. And he kept on sort of going like this, and I looked up at the scoreboard at Tats and said, Boxwalker, Weaver, everything, Cribfighter. I should have just cancelled the bid because and it was Shadwell's, but instead I said to Todd, but around the ring. Anyhow, I ended up buying her and sending her down to Ascot Sale as my property because I couldn't send her out to Hungary.